Okay, I think we are live. Let me double check in the group. You guys, I'm incredibly late because have you ever heard this saying? I was sleepy as a dog. Um, I was up yesterday since 3 a.m. and then had the podcast meetup, did a whole bunch of driving around, and took my kids to the pumpkin patch. So I was so tired that I didn't even wake up this morning like I said I would between the hours of 7 and 8. I think I said I would be available either prior to 7 or a quarter after. So I didn't do that. However, you don't need me to be live because we all have different schedules. You just need to see what is being asked so you guys could deliver and use these tools and instruments to help you. So I've been talking relentlessly about this 5Ps podcast self-audit. A few of you have filled it out. As you see, that number is 6 right there in the middle. There's 2,600 people in this group. I know not all of you are actively engaging in this group, but I would like to see this number increased a bit because, like I said, this is something that we've created for you. If you guys are in this group, Podcasting for Newbies, you're still here, obviously, because you need help with starting your podcast, growing it, and monetizing it. So this tool is incredibly useful because it's going to help you address all of the bottlenecks and all of the things that you need to start, grow, and monetize. So for instance, with my 5Ps framework, these are the 5 areas that help you build a sustainable podcast. The 6th P, by the time you've worked on the first 5, by the 6th P, you should be able to profit. That's the 6th P, profit from your podcast. So we have the planning, the production, the platform, the performance, and the promotion. These are questions that are designed to help you. So I've already filled this out. And now this is why I also suggested to you guys that you fill this out, because this is what we're going to be using for the next 5 days within the group. This is going to be the framework that helps move us to the next level. All right, so today in the AI challenge, the goal is to help with elevating your podcast into a brand. Some of you have already expressed this is still a hobby for you, or some of you have expressed this is a hobby. However, I'm trying to make this into a brand in business. Therefore, today on day 1, we're talking about how we can establish a more cohesive brand feel. So everything from your mission statement, if you're using like some really basic mission statement that you never really thought much about, to what are keywords that you can copy and paste every time under your podcast description, or if you're on YouTube, your YouTube description. These are going to be the keywords to help identify your podcast, and these will be ones that you'll copy and paste every time. Down to, do you even know your audience avatar, as like who should be listening, and a guest avatar, like who would you like to see on your platform, instead of you randomly picking people that you can get a hold of. Are you being intentional about who you have on your platform? Down to what type of content can we create. So this is all within the planning. So we have this ultimate prompt. I'm going to read it really quick. Please generate the following deliverables in one structured response. So this is the prompt that we're going to be using today. Write an SEO-friendly, emotionally resonant mission for my podcast that clearly communicates who it serves, what transformation it offers, and what makes it unique. Keyword strategy. List 20 strong SEO keywords and long tail phrases I should show to use across my titles, descriptions, blog posts, and social media clips. Create 10 compelling click-worthy brand-aligned titles for the next 10 episodes. Define my ideal listener in detail, who they are, what they value, and what they're struggling with. Describe the ideal guest type for my next season. Create short clips, write 10 mini scripts that I can use to record social media, 10 to 60 seconds each. And start with the hook. Deliver one actionable or emotional takeaway and have a strong call to action. And what is a content cadence and workflow summary? Suggests a 90-day content flow. Example is weekly episodes plus 3 short clips. So you would have all of this to walk away with. So we're going to put this all into practice. Now, if you filled out this form here, mind you, this is the 5 P's guest form, and I can actually drop it under this video right now. Let me do that. If I go to my link tree, which is in my bio, linktree / it is I, DaniMarie, that's probably the easiest way for both you and I to access the 5 P's framework. If you haven't already completed it, If you did already complete this form, copy and paste everything that was sent to your email. I'll show you that in just a second. All right, so I'm sharing this 5 P's form so you guys can fill it out. Hello to whomever's watching. All right, so I just added that under this video. 1 second, boys, I'm almost done. I need quiet. All right.
Mom, we are just walking monkeys.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we just added that in the comments section. Use that link if you haven't completed this form that's currently on the screen. I've already finished, and so now I'm going to go over to my answers, and here are my answers. So this is what it looks like when the answers are sent right back to you. And my suggestion is that you answer these questions as thoroughly as possible so that you can get the better results. So I filled this out. I wasn't very thorough because I was trying to do this in a video recording when I was recording a podcast episode, so I wanted to give you the demonstration. Hello, Michael and Gemma. So this is day 1 of AI branding. So these are the results that were sent to me. I'm going to copy and paste these. I'm going to go to my chat. You guys could use Gemini, Chat, Perplexity. I recommend Gemini or Chat actually because I know that it works well with Gemini or Chat. Now, you're going to paste all of the answers to the questions from the 5P self-audit in here. Then I'm going to go to this prompt. You guys can't see it, but I saved this prompt on my notepad, and I'll send it to you guys as well. I'll drop it in the guide or under this video, and I'm going to paste the prompt for today at the top of my questionnaire, the 5P self-audit. So what I mean by that is I'm going to move my cursor all the way to the beginning, and I'm going to hit Control V for paste. So the prompt is first, and your answers to the 5P's self-audit should be right underneath. And now I'm going to press enter, and based on the prompt and my answers, this is what I just received. The Talk Tacoma bridges the gap between local businesses and communities in the greater Tacoma, Seattle area. We amplify the voices of small business owners, artists, and change makers, shaping the culture. This was much stronger than what I came up with in the beginning for my Talk Tacoma podcast. SEO-friendly short version. Talk Tacoma's community-driven podcast spotlighting small businesses. Some of you guys, I've went to your podcast mission statements. Some of you guys still have like misspelled words and didn't even bother to fix the grammar. So this is why this is helpful, because when you're just starting off, you're scrambling, you're trying to get the podcast up, you're not being intentional about your mission statement. This is why we're working to rebrand a lot of your podcasts today. Here's your transformation promise. Listeners come from the stories, come for the stories, stay for the sense of belonging. Now, I can use that tagline anytime now when I'm a guest on somebody else's podcast to explain what Talk Tacoma is. Listeners come to the Talk Tacoma podcast for the stories, and they stay for the sense of belonging. Now I can forever use that as a tagline. Now, this is what I would suggest you do. Copy and paste all of this. You might even tell ChatGPT or Gemini to redo these keywords side by side of one another. Save that onto a notepad. So whenever you do a new upload, whenever you do a new podcast promo, whenever you do a short reel and share a clip from your podcast, you need to be using these SEO keywords. So for instance, you guys are using hashtags. These are the hashtags you need to be using on a repetitive basis, because these are a part of your digital footprint. This is how people are going to tie it back to your episode. This is how you start to build SEO. Without paying top dollar for the professional people, this is how you're able to use SEO. So I see Michelle is watching, Michael is watching, and Gemma is watching. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. We got to connect, so I make sure I pronounce your name the proper way. But we're talking about how we're using AI. What I told you guys in the beginning is that if you haven't already used this 5P self-audit, I've been talking about this relentlessly in the group. You need to start here. This is linked in the video down below under the live. This is where you start. This is where you start. And then we're going to be building on this throughout the entire week. So I took all my answers to this, copied and pasted into a ChatGPT, and I got so many suggestions about what I needed to do next, and I was told what my biggest bottleneck is. So I took all of my years of experience, all of my guest interviews, all of the transcripts to create this ultimate 5P self-audit. You need to answer this so that you can figure out where your bottlenecks are and figure out a strategy to help you elevate to the next level. But now we're repurposing this same thing to then build a brand. So today's theme is building an AI brand. And in the prompt today was, let me go back. We're working on social media clips, 10 new titles if you haven't already considered them. And even if you feel like, well, I already covered that. Well, some people never got a chance to listen to that, so you still need to do it again. And this is another way you can do it that aligns with your brand, because now ChatGPT and Gemini know exactly where your base is and how you can build on that foundation. You might need a stronger mission statement. A lot of you guys, like I said, when you created your podcast, didn't think intentionally about the mission, the strategies, the keywords, your guest avatar, your audience avatar. So today is day one, building all of that. What we did so far was took our answers from that 5P self-audit, and now we added all of our answers. This is all part of the self-audit answers from the form. And at the top is the prompt for today. Please generate the following deliverables. So this is the newest prompt to get the results that I'm telling you about today, which are below. Okay? So I have my keywords. I have a better mission statement that I didn't have before. I have my guest avatar. I have my listener avatar. My next suggested 10 episode titles. So let me go back. Okay, yes, we left off here, the keywords. So because ChatGPT now knows about my podcast, it suggested to me all of the SEO-friendly keywords that I should now include in all of my content. Now we're moving on. The next 10 episode titles I should do: The Comeback Season, Why Tacoma Small Businesses Are Thriving Again. The Hidden Gems of Hilltop, Stories You Won't Hear Anywhere Else. Healing Through Hustle, How Wellness Meets Business in Tacoma. This is very directly aligned because chat already knows, again, where I started, and now it can help me elevate. Some of you guys, again, maybe you already talked about Tacoma's creators, but was the title a great title? Was it an SEO-friendly title? If people were supposed to search in YouTube, because sometimes you guys are putting stuff in your titles for your podcast episodes that nobody's going to technically search for. So that's what SEO is. What things are people literally typing in to find your content? And if you are good about SEO with using all of the keywords, with using the great titles, that's how you are potentially moved up, and you would be the one that they find when they're typing in Tacoma creators or business legacy in Tacoma or real Tacoma, the conversations that connect. All right, so these are some episode suggestions that I could do. Some of you guys don't really have, you want to be a podcaster, you want to interview people, but maybe you don't have the creative capacity to think of what your next 10 titles should be. So this is using AI again. The audience avatar. Okay, so my audience avatar, his name is Jordan, or her name is Jordan, considered to be the local legacy builder. Between the age 28 and 45, predominantly a woman, community focused, located in Tacoma and Seattle and surrounding areas, and has a small business, is a creative, a service provider, educator, or wellness professional. That's right on target. However, previously I wouldn't have explained it like that. I would have been more broad. I would say they talk about wellness, education, community, business, and tech, but that's too broad. So ChatGPT just actually helped me unlock the code and gave me this very specific occupation. Small business owners, a creative, service provider, educator, and wellness professionals. So that narrows the focus. Psychographics, they value community, culture, and authenticity. I might even do a bonus for you guys, because this right here is so good that you can change this into a landing page in and of itself. The psychographics, they value community, culture, and authenticity, tired of feeling unseen or unsupported as an independent business owner, seeks local visibility, craves uplifting, relatable, and practical stories, and believes in collaboration over competition. Their pain points, do you know your avatar's pain point? Because the only reason why somebody's going to come to you is if you can solve a problem for them. If your content solves a problem, whether it's educating them on how to make 30-minute quick recipes, or using a crock pot, or getting rid of back pain, or in this case, tips for podcast newbies. But for my Talk Tacoma podcast, again, I talk to people interested in community, wellness, education, business, and tech. Their pain points, they feel disconnected from community and growth conversations. They're overwhelmed balancing business, family, and self-care, and lack consistent marketing visibility or local exposure. That is very valuable, and it was not something I was using to explain the pain points before. Guest avatar. My ideal guest, some of you guys just say anybody can come on your platform. You have no rhyme or reason to why you invite these people, and therefore when people are looking for your podcast, they're not staying to listen to your full episode, because the person you brought on as a guest is not why they came or come to you. You're not addressing their immediate pain point. So you need to really be clear about your guest avatar and only invite people, not because you need all types of guests to be on your platform, but you need intentional guests that align with your platforms. I get hit up all of the time and ask people asking me to be on the platform. Why? Do we have the same audience? So, guest avatar, a community leader, small business owner, creative, or educator. They value authenticity and collaboration. They can share both the grind and the growth, brings practical insights, and has a story that blends personal purpose and professional journeys. Okay? Social media clips. You need a hook. People's grow on social media all of the time, and the only reason why they decide to stop on any particular video is because there was a hook that caught their attention. Some of you guys don't know the difference, and some of you have yet to master that. I also have to actively work on that myself. But here's a hook that you probably never thought about for your content. What if I told you Tacoma is full of untold stories waiting to change your life? Every week on Talk Tacoma, we spotlight the local voices shaping our city's culture and community. Tune in, CTA, if you didn't know, call to action, and be a part of the movement from Talk Tacoma today, okay? And then it's going to give you 10 clips like that. Then it's also going to give you the 90-day content cadence and workflow summary. So you need to do this in order for you to unlock the code. Some of you guys are not consistent with this promotion piece. This is why it's a part of the framework. 1 weekly podcast episode, audio, and YouTube upload. You need to have 3 short clips per episode. So you can use, I use CapCut. Some people use Opus clips for my short clips to turn long form into short form. You need to be doing that for every episode, 3 short clips. 1 weekly blog post. I use Substack. Some people might use MailChimp for a blog or newsletter. And then 1 weekly community thread or live. All right. So this is exactly what I was going to do. I was going to go to Lovable.dev and create this for you guys. So this is what you could do. On a Monday, plan out your episode. Tuesday, record the episode. Wednesday, upload and schedule. So you're not doing all of it in one day, taking up all of your time. You can use 30 minutes to an hour every day to build up so you're not overextending yourself in one day. Tuesday, record or edit the episode. Wednesday, upload and schedule. Thursday, create the clips. Friday, post the clips. Saturday, engage in the comments. Sunday, rest. Okay? This is extremely valuable. Some of you guys, you have bits and pieces, but you don't have a cohesive system. That's where you're lacking. I'm going to say convert this into a Lovable.dev prompt to get this. What do I want to create? What do I want to call it? Lovable.dev is awesome, and I can't wait to tell you and show you about it. Okay, convert this into Lovable.dev prompt to get this written as a weekly flow chart. I think I still have some credits, so we're going to use Lovable.dev real quick, and then I'm done. But I just gave you guys a bonus with this Lovable.dev. And then I'll add my link, which will give you all 10 credits if you use Lovable.dev, and you can basically play around with it. What I want you guys to do for homework, for those of you still listening, I want you to share your Lovable.dev links under this video so we know that you guys were following along and you actually applied these tools that we taught you today. All right, this is what Lovable.dev looks like. I just had ChatGPT take all of the information I just shared with you and create a prompt. And then within like 5 minutes, I'm going to get a very cool landing page. While this is still thinking, I can even show you guys around of the other stuff that I created. But let me also work on getting you this link first, so you guys can have some credits. Hold on. All right. All right. So I just dropped the Lovable.dev link right here. Use this and you have 10 credits instantly. I want to see your Lovable.dev landing pages after everything that we just discussed. All right. All right, still coming up with it. Let's see. Here are all of the previous landing pages that I've made. So I'm doing this thing called for Talk Tacoma or any small business Saturday. You can take over my live stream. I'm charging $5 for 15 minutes or $20 for the full hour. So basically, maybe you don't have a large following like I do. So you can use my stream and do a demonstration. You can go live at your restaurant. You can teach a master class on my live stream. But this is just to position you in front of a bigger audience. Especially, I just heard that the page that we're creating is finished. So here is the example of what Lovable.dev created for me in 5 minutes so that I can promote my Small Biz Saturdays. Another way for you guys to also monetize. If you have a large following, you can charge people a couple of bucks and they can use your live stream, pitch in front of your audience, whatever. But anyways, what we just created, we're going to go back to. It already looks very pretty. You can even add more details like what colors, you know, your brand is, if your brand has if you have a brand color, or you can use your cover art, or you can use a previous episode and share that just for more context, that's great. But all I'm using this is for my reference so that I have what I'm supposed to do on each day, right? This is something that makes it very easy for me to get hyper focused. So I know on Mondays, my job is to be planning and strategizing, researching guests, finalizing episode concepts. After that, for the first 30 minutes, once I'm done, I'm done. I can move on to everything else I have to do on a Monday. Tuesdays, that's when I actually record. Now, Wednesdays, this is actually spot on. Wednesdays is when I'm supposed to have a new upload. Thursdays, okay, the upload is out there. Everybody marinates on that. But Thursday, I need to be clipping and designing and pulling 3 short clips. Fridays, post recap. Saturdays, engage and amplify. Sunday, rest and reset. So this is so valuable. I'm going to share this with you guys. I'm going to publish it. And I'm going to share this. And this is proof that I did my homework. And this is what I want to see you guys do out as well. Remember, for the people who are engaging the most, we're gonna, and every video won't be 30 minutes long, but for people who are engaging the most, we're gonna put your name in a drawing. We just gave somebody else $50 out of this group. We're gonna put your name in a drawing, and you can win a 30-minute coaching with Jonathan, who is our moderator, and then I'm going to send you guys something as well. So there's only going to be one winner. to get both things. I see Jonathan in the building. Shout out to Jonathan. He is your moderator. He is very insightful, very helpful, and has a lot of different tools and mechanisms and things in place to help you as well. So where I don't always fit for people, Jonathan is probably a better fit for some people, and vice versa. That's why we have more than one. We want to meet you guys where you are at. There should be no excuse why you're not growing, because we are doing everything we can within this community to make sure you grow. Of course, you can go to all of the other Facebook groups, but I don't think that they're all holding your hand like we are doing within this group, because they're bigger entities. They don't have time to hold your hand through the process and give you the direct guidance that you need. They're going to give you general information, general access to things, and all of it's fine. But some of you guys need someone to literally hold your hand, and that's why we're here. And I understand it's not always going to be me. Maybe the way I communicate is not, how you receive information best. So there is Jonathan, who has a different approach. And then we might be looking for other moderators. But this is the recap of today. We did everything with AI branding. We used all of our questions and answers from the 5P self-audit to plug and play and build on that foundation. And in the process, we got a flow chart, we got a guest avatar, an audience avatar, a stronger mission statement, we got better keywords. We have, some of you guys don't know what to ask ChatGPT, another reason why we're helping you. We got episode titles, and then, I think I covered it. So, if this was helpful, the way you can express that is by participating and letting us know in the comments that this was helpful and taking the steps. Don't just sit on all of this good, rich information. Be a part of the process. Otherwise, you're not going to see upward mobility. You're not going to scale your podcast, or you can just do it all yourself and just take twice as long to get there. So I am out. I need to be headed to church, you guys. Again, between myself and Jonathan, we always have an event. We always have coaching. We always have challenges. We always have a podcast meant to help you all. Okay? Thank you all for your time and commitment, and I will talk with you guys tomorrow, and I should be back on my schedule for the week. So I said 7 a.m. I'll try to commit to that for the rest of the week. But Sunday, technically, I can wake up whenever I want to, okay? So that's what happened, and I apologize for just now coming on. But it is what it is. At least you have the information. Have a blessed day.